Today, me and Dee Cool are here to host Doctor Who Time and Space, where we review The Witch's Familiar.
Welcome
to Doctor Who Time and Space, episode 127.
We're back.
We're back for another week, and of course, last week was another week where we got treated to Doctor Who.
So we're 2 weeks into series 9 now.
I know.
And we're enjoying it, aren't we?
We are.
What have we got on this week's show?
We've got a review of The Witch's Familiar, the second part of the season opener.
We've got our usual array of Who news.
We've got a preview of Under the Lake.
We've got our special feature, which is around scary Doctor Who episodes.
And we have, we may have a Who to face. It depends.
We may, but probably not. If we talk as much as we talked last time, we'll probably run out of time.
Yeah, we'll probably run out of time.
So, as is usually the way that these things work, once the series is up and running, should we kick off with our thoughts on Which is Familiar?
Okay, so what should we start with?
Well, first off, for those that avidly follow this channel, we've actually just recorded a Behind the Sofa special.
Oh, and before you watch this show, we're just going to give you a spoiler alert.
Yeah.
So, spoiler alert now, everyone. If you haven't watched Which is Familiar, go watch it on iPlayer now. Type in Doctor Who. It might be our most popular still. I don't know, because I don't watch them on iPlayer. I always watch them live, because I don't see the point of watching them on iPlayer. I mean, I do see the point.
I always watch them on iPlayer.
You always watch them. It's handy, but I don't need to when I can watch it live.
That is true. So, as I was saying before you barged in and interrupted me.
Yeah.
Sorry. We've done a bit of a review and discussion around both the first and second part of this story.
Yeah.
On Behind the Sofa, which we
recorded
recorded
live.
It's a small
overview.
Yeah, which we did live earlier on, and we'll edit into a full episode of Behind the Sofa over time. But let's crack on with it, shall we? Synopsis of the story.
Yeah.
Am I doing that?
What do you want to take it in turns to give the synopsis?
Yeah.
Or? Okay, so continuing from last week's cliffhanger, where Clara and Missy and the TARDIS got exterminated, this episode goes straight in with Clara and Missy there on Skaro, not dead.
I was worrying about them being dead all week.
I know, but it was so expected. So they were trying to find the Doctor, defeat Davros and Daleks, and all they had was a pointy stick.
And line too.
Yes, and later on, when after they'd headed to the Dalek city, it continued with the Doctor threatening Davros to get out. But later on, the Daleks were shouting, saying, "Protect the leader!" And then he was going, "My children, help me! The Doctor is escaping."
That bit was great, wasn't it? Wasn't that really creepy?
It was.
Yeah, I love that.
I like the way how he calls them "my children."
Yeah.
It's such a classic Who sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then I think he comes in with the chair.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what comes in next. Clara then puts Missy in a Dalek. Missy then puts Clara in a Dalek.
Yeah.
In sewers.
harks back very much so to Asylum of the Daleks, doesn't it?
We'll chat a bit about that later. And the Doctor and Davros have a heart-to-heart, and Davros opens his eyes. Davros wants to see the sun of Skaro rise again, but they find out later on that it's all a trick.
It is.
And should we leave it at that?
I'll just add to that. What he does, doesn't he, is he cons the Doctor into using some of his regeneration energy, and in doing so, obviously, a new vibrant and even more evil Davros.
And the hybrid Dalek.
Can you get
hybrid Dalek?
It's a hybrid Time Lord
Dalek
for the new generation appears, albeit that they're then crushed by the equally high-powered, slimy dead Daleks or nearly dead Daleks in the sewers, which overpower the actual Daleks.
So you get a break from the synopsis.
I enjoyed that. It's good.
Okay, so should we talk about our views on this episode?
Yeah.
Should I go first?
You kick off, yeah.
This story overall was great. But as this individual parter, it was an episode which I couldn't think of any bad points to it. I thought this is a fantastic episode. Maybe not as good as part 1.
Lies.
But I thought amazing as an opener, and part 2 as an opener. Before, I didn't know how it was going to beat it. Some people think it did beat it. Some people didn't. I thought it was better than I was expecting. I was expecting it to be a bit more. I was expecting it to be a bit of a letdown for some reason. The trailers and stuff I was excited for, but at the same time I was thinking part 1 was so great, this may be a letdown to it. But it wasn't. There were some great sequences, and Peter Capaldi again mixed light and funny and dark things together. It was just a fantastic episode and a fantastic story.
Yeah. Here.
Yeah.
I will add to it.
Yeah.
I would go as far as to say that of all the season openers that we've had in terms of a story, this one probably tops them all. Yeah,
and last week we said about Davros stories. This is probably my second favourite Davros.
I think so, yeah.
Story.
Davros was just brilliant. In fact, the 4 leading characters in this story.
They were.
Clara,
the Doctor, Missy, and Davros.
They were just superb, weren't they?
They were.
Not only were they acted brilliantly, each of them acted their roles fantastically, but how well written were they? I mean, that whole dialogue between the Doctor and Davros, when you even began to feel some sort of sympathy for Davros.
I know.
You started to think, "Oh, come here, give us a cuddle."
Oh,
come here, Davros.
That would be a lovely experience.
Yeah. I don't know. I imagine he smells of fish.
Oh.
Didn't you?
Yeah. Fish in the Dalek sewers.
Yeah. But no, it was a fantastically written episode. Some humorous bits. There's some really great, funny one-liners, wasn't there?
Yeah,
you had a number of them. You had at the end when the Daleks that were stored in the sewer all came to life, or they were alive already, but they sort of got all the power and started attacking the Daleks at the end. And he got that great line, "Your sewers are revolting," the double-edged joke on it, which is really, really funny. You also had that classic moment when the Doctor comes into the main arena.
Anyone for dodgems.
But that was funny, but I just loved it when he appeared in the bottom half of Davros, the sort of wheelchair thing, and uttered the line about, "Don't tell me you haven't had nightmares about this," or whatever it was. Said. I loved that bit. I was laughing about that for ages, and that's what I loved about this story, was that however dark it was, and it had a really dark theme to it. It was hilarious at times.
It was.
In fact, I think the last time I found Doctor Who as funny as that was probably the Caretaker in the last series, where there was a lot of very funny things on
like
that.
PE.
But at the same point, that was the whole theme of it. It was all fairly light-hearted, whereas this one was a really dark episode.
And as we were saying on Behind the Sofa, we had a fear that this series wasn't going to be as dark, but it was. It was almost as dark as we'd had in Series 8, and that's quite hard to out-dark Series 8.
But what it did brilliantly was Series 8 was generally, aside from Robot Sherwood and the Caretaker. It was
maybe in
really,
Frost of the Night.
Yeah, the majority of the series was dark, whereas here,
Mummy on Your Own Express.
Here it managed to throw in that humorous edge as well, and it was so well done. And if Moffat and Co managed to keep that going through the whole of this series, then that's an amazing feat, I think.
That'd be great.
So, what other sort of things should we chat about in terms of this episode?
So what did you think of the Doctor overall?
He was brilliant, wasn't he?
He was.
And we discussed this a little bit on Behind the Sofa earlier, but I was saying that very early on, I decided that I loved Peter Capaldi as the Doctor.
Yeah, you did.
And he's my second favourite now. You know, you think of all these great Doctors that we've had, he's up there with only Tom Baker ahead of him.
Can Tom Baker ever get beaten?
Of course, when I'm the Doctor, I'll obviously be the best one.
Yeah, he'll be top of my list.
Yeah.
You'll be top of everyone's, every fan in the universe, because you're going to be the greatest Doctor ever.
You sort of, for a long time, Matt Smith was your favourite Doctor.
He was.
Has Peter managed to knock Matt from the top of the pile for you or not?
I don't know. I always struggle when somebody says, "What's your list? What's your favourite Doctor?" Which is like the simplest question you could ask to a Doctor Who fan. It's harder than you think.
It's easy for me because I was brought up in that period when Tom Baker was a Doctor for a long time.
Because
so
and then it went into the 80s, which was a bit disappointing. So
it's quite easy to have.
If you hadn't seen Tom Baker, if you were born like 10 years later, and you saw Peter Davidson, would Peter Davidson be your favourite Doctor?
Maybe, but I think the series, and this is no disrespect to Peter or Colin or Sylvester that followed, but I think the series was in decline at that point.
Or maybe Paul as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the series was definitely in decline, and in fact, even you could say the end of Tom Baker's era was not as strong as the beginning of it.
It definitely wasn't.
But I mean, you look at
there were some great ones there.
You look at those first few series of Tom Baker's era, and they're just classic, aren't they?
Yeah.
And similarly, that when we were talking the other week about John Pertwee, there's some classic stories in there, isn't there?
Are.
In fact, I would say that do you know what it reminds me of?
What?
And this won't mean a great deal to you, but it might to some of the listeners. Doctor Who, to me, is like the career of David Bowie.
Okay.
Because it has the William Hartnell stuff at the beginning, which is a little bit twee. I don't know. It's some good stuff in there, a bit like Bowie's Durham years. You then get into his real highlight period. Bowie's albums of the 70s, his classic stuff, which is Patrick Troughton, John Pertwee, and Tom Baker. 80s, still really popular, the Peter Davison era, but not as good.
Yeah.
You then get into that really tacky 80s period that Bowie had around Never Let Me Down and Tonight, which is the Colin Baker and Sylvester McCoy. He then doesn't do anything for quite a long time. And he then comes back and he's a gradual real renaissance. And coming back eventually with his best Doctor since those early days, very similar to Bowie's great recent return with The Next Day. David Bowie and Doctor Who, the parallel. There we have it. I'm really proud of that, actually. I just thought of that in my head, and I tell you, that's brilliant.
Yeah, it is. What? We should do a podcast on that.
Yeah, we could do, yeah.
What's your favourite? Should I go first on my favourite scene in this episode?
Yeah.
My favourite scene was when Clara was put in Dalek.
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot of great scenes in this episode, like the chair and the heart-to-heart, but
we found it difficult to come up with one, didn't we, when we were chatting?
We did. But I'm going to say this moment, I just loved it. It really made me enjoy the episode. Mm-hmm. We learned a bit about the Daleks in the scene. And I also loved the bit later on when Missy was trying to get the Doctor to kill Clara in the Dalek. Yeah.
That was just dark, wasn't it? That was really dark.
It was.
And all the time the Doctor sort of saying, just go now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that whole sort of fact that, you know, although there's times where you thought, actually, Missy's quite good.
Yeah.
She's not good.
She's not good.
No.
No.
No. That was really fantastic. Those humour bits that we talked about, standout bits, the bit with the Doctor coming in the Davros chair, which we keep talking about, but that was just fantastic.
It was.
The line around when Davros says about having found the last remaining chair on Skaro.
Yeah.
The Doctor sat on it. It's just brilliant. I love that.
Yeah.
And quite true, isn't it? Why would they need chairs? You've only got the snaky guy whose name I've forgotten again.
Colony Star.
Yeah. Yeah. He's the only one that would need one, isn't he?
Yeah. I like Colony's half, but I found in part 2, he was a bit underused. He wasn't used very much.
I think I might have mentioned in the show last week. It reminds me in a little bit of the Whisper Men in the Name of the Doctor, where they look really cool and you think, these are great villains, but they don't really do very much.
No.
But does that really matter?
It doesn't, no.
It doesn't.
Because they're great villains.
Cool. I bet if they released a Series 9 set of action figures, which they probably will, and he was one of them, that would be one that you'd want.
Me too. Yeah. I would want it.
Yeah.
Not me too.
Yeah.
I would want it.
Yeah. Yeah, you would want it.
Not me too, because you didn't say, I'll want it.
No,
you said, you'll want it.
Yeah.
Me too.
Me too.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was really good. So we've talked about the best bits. There's other best bits in it, isn't there? Really.
Did we say about the heart-to-heart?
Heart-to-heart. We sort of talked about. We touched on it earlier on.
Touched on that.
The strongest, to me, the best bit in the whole thing is the heart-to-heart.
Yeah.
Loved it.
It was a good heart-to-heart.
It was. It's just fantastic. It just went from one to another, and you always thought. Well, I'm going to ask you this question. However good it was, and it was quite uplifting, even some of that dialogue between the Doctor and Davros. If it ended differently, if it ended with Davros just dying at the stage where he was still nice, would you have been satisfied? Or the very fact that it then twisted round and he was actually all the time playing on the Doctor's niceness in order to actually make himself more powerful and give himself further life at the time when he was dying?
I thought that was quite good. It would have been quite good either way. But I quite liked it how he tricked the Doctor to try and do that.
I think it would have been a bit twee if Davros had ended really. If it had been sort of like, I'm sorry, Doctor. I'm sorry for all these battles we've had. And then he died. It's been lovely talking to you. I wish we could have had a cup of tea and cake.
Laugh. And then the cup of tea miraculously appears.
That's all right. I can make another cup of tea. Bing! Appears from nowhere. Bing! Which I like the cup of tea thing, by the way. I know a lot of people thought it was silly, but I really loved that bit.
No, I like the line.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny. It was completely impractical, but it was funny. But I think I would have found it a bit. I think I would have found it a bit cheated if Davros had died
Yeah.
being good, because I would have thought all along, you know, that evil that he's shown
I
all
know.
these years, it's like wasted. You know,
Yeah.
if he turns out in the end to not be that bad after all,
Yeah.
albeit it was just the you know, I guess when people do die or when they're dying, they think over their life, they chew it all over. But someone like Davros is such a bad egg. You'd figure that even on his deathbed, he would still find time to poke you in the eye.
Yeah.
Which of course
Missy did that.
Yeah. Do you think we'll see him again, Davros? Then? I mean, effectively they've given him a whole new lot of life, haven't they?
I hope so. I don't want Davros to be wasted because he's a great character. I don't think he should appear all the time. I think it was a bit. I didn't like it in Classic Who when he appeared every Dalek story.
No.
I think he should appear sometimes, but not every Dalek story.
He became a bit overused, didn't he?
He did.
Because you know what always made me, I always wondered?
Yeah.
The fact is, the only reason Davros first comes into it, originally, is because the Fourth Doctor is sent to try and destroy the Daleks.
Yeah.
And you think, well, why haven't we seen that Davros guy before? And yet now we see him all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why is that?
I know.
so I like the fact they use him very sparingly.
Me too.
How much better as well was Davros here, albeit the same actor, than that horrible scene that we watched last week at the end of Stolen Earth. That was cringe. You know, we talked a bit earlier last week on the show and on Behind the Sofa around me finding the bit of the Doctor appearing on a tank playing the guitar a little bit cringy in a way.
And I said it was quite long.
Mm-hmm. I can. Yeah, well, sorry, we're sort of treading over old ground, but it's a bit cringy, but at the same point, it's quite cool.
Yeah.
Like, blah 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 blah. We talked about that before.
Blah, blah.
But that scene we watched last week with that bit Stolen Earth, is it Stolen Earth?
Stolen Earth.
Yeah. That was horrible. I just found myself cringing with Donna. I say actually, ironically, it was quite a similar ending as what we had here.
I suppose.
In this one, obviously Davros and the Daleks get the Time Lord energy, the regeneration energy.
Yeah.
Whereas
But
in that one,
it wasn't the ending because, I mean, in Stolen Earth, Journey's End, it wasn't the ending because there's that bit when the companions fly the TARDIS.
Yeah, but it's effectively the end of the villains, isn't it?
Yeah.
In that one, so it's a similar sort of thing, isn't it? The whole thing is ended by Time Lord energy.
Yeah.
But that time they did it crap.
Yeah.
In reality, didn't they? That was just cringeful. But whereas this time round, you know, hats off to Stephen Moffat and co. That was a brilliant two-parter, and it seems to be pretty.
Sorry, RTD, but
it was pretty universally acclaimed as well. From what I could see, even more the reviews afterwards, most people thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
There's a few Moffat haters, isn't there?
Yeah, there are.
But I think actually, if Moffat wrote the best story in the world, they would still hate it.
Yeah.
For some reason.
They're just Moffat haters, full stop.
Yeah.
So, are there any
other... In the same way as we're 80s haters.
Yeah. Are there any other questions that we can ask about this episode?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you one. Where does Missy go from here? What can we expect from Missy going forward?
Well, Missy's daughter.
Actually, that's a good point. That was referenced for the first time, wasn't it? Let me ask you the other question first, then we'll come on to Missy's daughter.
Missy, I think she'll be in some point in Series 9. Nearer the end, though. And...
Do you want to see her back?
Mm.
You're a big Missy fan, aren't you?
I am. I like Missy.
Can I ask you a sub-question of that before we come on to the Missy's daughter thing? Do you believe that Missy should be the Master reincarnated, or would you have preferred Missy to just being a Time Lord in her own right?
It's quite a twist that she's the Master.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, she would have been good as a separate Time Lord, but I thought the mystery of Series 8 was good.
Yeah.
The build up and everything,
Yeah.
so I thought it was good.
I mean, Moffat always likes to take things back to Who history, doesn't he?
And where's the story arc of this series?
Is it going to be that sort of, I've forgotten what it's called now, the little the
Transmission dial.
Yeah, the transmission dial. I think it's going to be something around that, because we know that there was a real reason why the Doctor left Gallifrey, but we don't know what it is, and presumably it's going to be around that.
Yeah.
So the other spin-off question that you touched on just a minute ago was Missy mentioned her daughter, which we don't know whether that's the daughter from Missy or the daughter of the Master in the Master's form, but one way or other attached to that character. Where do you think they're going with that?
You thought Maisie Williams, didn't you?
I'll be honest, I do think Maisie Williams, but it wasn't my initial thought.
Oh, yeah.
I read it somewhere, somebody else suggested it, and I thought, I think you might be right there. I think you're onto something there, kid.
I'm thinking River Song for some reason.
With a song.
Clara.
Mm-hmm.
You could have that.
You can't have a song, can you?
Why?
Because we know that she's the daughter of Amy.
No, okay.
So you got
she could be Amy and Rory's. Amy's mother. Rory's mother. Because we've never seen Rory's mother. We've seen Amy's mother, so that would be a bit weird.
Mm-hmm.
But Rory's mother, then that's why River Song returns to see her grandmother.
I think. What was your other theory? You said something else. Did you not?
No. I don't know. Clara, I said, but
Clara, yeah, that was the other one. Yeah, could be Clara. See, because Clara doesn't necessarily mean that the parents she's talked about all her life, they don't necessarily have to have been her real parents. They may have adopted her or something like that, or whatever.
Well, Missy may have adopted her.
Missy may have had this mysterious daughter, or the Master had this daughter, and swapped them at birth so that it was actually looked after by Clara's mum and dad. And turns out that Clara all along is actually an agent of the Master / Missy.
Yay! Killer. No. Okay, should we end our review there, or do you have any other questions?
Well, just general thoughts. What do you think overall of it, a roundup of it, and what do you think moving forward? Do you think is that a great start to the series?
Yes, I think it's a great start. I don't know how it can be beaten.
Yeah.
Should I do an overall thought on the story?
Yep.
This story had some great moments. The Doctor was great, as always. The 4 leading characters were amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The Doctor, Clara, Missy, and Davros. It had lots of shocks, surprises, great moments, and harkbacks to the past.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like a finale, and it was a season opener on a massive scale. Lots of great actors, and sometimes scenes went a bit cheesy, but also when they went cheesy, sometimes the darker edge was introduced to that, definitely in part 2.
So overall, we give it a big thumbs up.
We give it, I'm going to give it a 9.5.
And I think I'll be there or thereabouts as well. I'm interested to see how they top this series.
Yeah, so talking about this series, should we talk a bit about Under the Lake?
Yeah. Have you got a synopsis or anything to talk about with the run through?
I'll find it.
Yeah. So
Under the Lake is on tonight. It's at a later time, which is tiny bit annoying, but
in itself though, that might be saying something, mightn't it? It's got that look that it could be a little bit creepy, hence our discussion a bit later on in the show. Written by.
Written by Toby Whithouse. When an underwater base comes under attack, the Doctor and Clara must save the frightened crew and defeat an impossible threat. But what is behind these terrifying events? And can they really be haunted by ghosts?
In itself, that's an interesting topic, isn't it? Because Doctor Who, although it hasn't had a ghost episode as such, it's explored ghosts on a number of occasions.
Yeah.
I mean, most recently when we
aliens and entities and
we watched not that long back and talked about it on the randomizer on this very podcast, Hive, which had a sort of ghost setting to it.
Yeah.
Albeit it turned out not to be a ghost.
But it didn't. And Listen as well was similar.
Yes.
We never found out about that.
No, indeed, that's right. So it's not a new theme, but this time it seems that they are dealing with ghosts.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't all turn out to be something.
So what do you want to discuss on this? I mean, are you going to leap straight into those hints and clues, or did you want to chat about it a bit?
Do you want to hit some hints and clues?
Yeah. So this is a direct lift from Doctor Who TV website.
Doctor Who TV, so it can inspire these. So opening line: Private Journal of Captain Jonathan Moran, 21st of November, 2119. Yes, there's a Ghostbusters nod. Why aren't you happy? Tell me. Lit readers should pay close attention. Clara is left hanging again. It's okay, I understand. You are an idiot. The Nethersphere is referenced. Clara versus Gandhi? I've got a duty of care. The Doctor last used this in dark water. Faraday cage.
So anything there that jumps out of you?
Dark water, I think it's that thing when you put the hand in and it takes you somewhere. Like with the memories. Last time the thing we said about the translating thing, it turned out to be the hats.
Yeah.
So
there was something that jumped out at me. Could you just run through that list there? I just want to have a quick look. I'm intrigued at what the Ghostbusters nod is. I'd imagine that'd be quite humorous. Nethersphere is referenced. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, that'd be it.
Clara's left hanging again. Do you know what I want to see?
What?
I want to see them recreate because Moffat harks back to the classic era quite regularly, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I want to see her hanging from a cliff edge by an umbrella.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see.
No,
Make it happen.
The Doctor.
Make it happen. Okay, other hints and clues.
Let me just load this.
Split into two parts, no doubt.
So Daleks and Cybermen. Blink and you'll miss it.
Mm-hmm.
Dalek, don't go native. Technically unit play a part. That means that the Ghost sent it.
Continue. Yeah.
Synaptic connections. Sonic glasses are Wi-Fi compatible. Pay attention, is that really her? A mysterious girl gave the Doctor some real trouble. Doctor, you can't, I think, go in there. They will kill you.
Mm-hmm.
There's a scene that will remind you of one from 42. We're going to do the impossible.
Okay, some intriguing stuff there. Something that jumped out to me, we watched earlier on a clip from this episode. Was it just a standard clip? I can't think now. It wasn't a trailer, was it? It was a clip.
No, it's a clip.
And there was that painting up on the wall which showed a dragon coming out. And I immediately got me thinking about the next story on from this one, which involves Vikings and dragons and such. And I figured that maybe somewhere or other these stories are going to be linked. And maybe there will be some sort of slight link across all of the stories, one leading into the other. A little bit like what they used to do in the old days of the Patrick Troughton ones, isn't it? All the stories were connected, weren't they? They didn't really do things off screen. One story ended and it would lead direct, which would mean, just imagine if your life was like that. You know, you sort of, like at the moment you go to school, you come home, you might do your homework, have your dinner, watch something, or do your work with you, write a bit of your episodes and whatever, update your website, and then go to bed. With like that, it would just be like adventure, 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 adventure. You know, imagine if that was your life and you just went from one adventure to another. That'd be crazy, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So, Any other thoughts on Under the Lake?
I'm intrigued by it. I love the look of. Right since we saw that first trailer, I've loved the look of the ghosts in this one. I just think they look really cool, really creepy. I knew that Paul Kay was in this because that was announced fairly interesting. I didn't realise it was the ghost. No, intrigued.
Yeah.
Intrigued to see.
Do you think he's going to be the first one to die?
I think. I'm sure that he's going to be a baddie. Yeah, and I think they'll be in it all the way through the first story.
Okay.
I'm not sure they're going to be in the second story.
That's what I was thinking.
It looks like, whilst this is a two-parter,
it's going to be different.
There could be two.
Physically.
Yeah, it looks like they could have two sort of completely different edges to them.
Yeah.
Right or wrong?
Right.
Do we know that? Is it still based in the same base, the Russian base, for both parts? Do we know?
We don't know.
Okay. So I think part one, Russian base ghost. Second part, Fisher King and
it's
other stuff.
underwater base.
Mhm.
Yeah, underwater.
Yeah.
Okay, so should we move on?
Let's move on. Yeah.
So it's on 8:25 tonight. I'll remind you at the end of the show. Are we moving on to news or topics? Go, scaries.
Let's do our news first of all, shall we?
Okay, so new Doctor Who spin-off, Class, is announced. So BBC Three announced Class, a new 8 times 45-minute Doctor Who spin-off from the acclaimed young adult author Patrick Ness. Class is a YA series set in contemporary London. Incredible dangers are breaking through the walls of time and space, and with darkness coming, London is unprotected. With all the action, heart and adrenaline of the best YA fiction, this is Coal Hill School and Doctor Who like you've never seen it before.
Okay.
Class is executive produced by Stephen Moffat, Patrick Ness, and Brian Minchin. It was commissioned by Demain Cavagné. Sorry, Demain. Controller Damien. Yeah. Controller of BBC Three, and Polly Hill, controller of BBC Drama Commissioning. This series is produced by BBC Cymru Wales in association with BBC Worldwide for BBC Three, and the series will film in and around Wales from spring 2016 and be on air next year.
So, what do you make of it? What's your thoughts?
Well, it sounds alright.
It's difficult to know too much because it's fairly sparse.
Yeah.
I sensed an element of disappointment across the Who fan base. I don't think it was around Class as such, but just when they announced that there was going to be a big announcement, I think people were expecting it to be something Doctor Who related.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised that this is the spin-off that's coming, in that I imagined that the next spin-off was going to be something children's BBC based, like the Paternoster Gang or something like that. But I think there's room for a young adult one. I think Coal Hill School gives them a lot of opportunity to do it. It'd be interesting to see whether they bring back some of the characters that we've seen in the last series.
Also, Ian. Will they bring back Ian?
You've got that potential, haven't you? You've also got, what was the girl called again? Courtney.
And we don't know what's going to happen with Clara. So.
Yeah. I don't think
Clara will be in it.
Unless, well, maybe it will. Maybe it'll be like the Sarah Jane things. Maybe Clara will be the new Sarah Jane Adventures.
Yeah.
Let's face it, she's the longest standing companion alongside Sarah Jane.
Jamie.
And Jamie, who will soon be in his own spin-off called Okay, My Lad. So, good or bad?
Bit of both, really. I think there's better things that you can do a spin-off on. But at the same time, it sounds alright.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? We don't really know much about it at the moment. Obviously, by the sounds of it, Moffat and Kerr are still involved in it, so it's going to have some linkage to Who. Well, okay, let me ask this slightly differently.
Yeah.
Would you rather see this as in Class, or would you rather see them doing another series of Torchwood?
This, because I'm more likely to watch it.
Yeah.
I can't be bothered with Torchwood.
Yeah, maybe you will one day.
Maybe.
I've not ever seen Torchwood, so I can't comment.
No.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got a few updated ratings. So, I always don't look forward. I am tempted. I always get tempted on a Sunday not to press the UK ratings accumulator thing.
Why?
I don't want to find out if it's low.
Yeah.
For some reason.
That's because you've always had this deep down fear, because you love Doctor Who so much. And anyone that actually spends any time with this lad, Lewis Moon, will know that he's absolutely crazy bonkers about Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Talks about it about 75% of his life.
Yeah.
Even in his sleep, probably. So you always have that deep down fear that it's going to be less popular and they're going to cancel it. And that's why, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not that I think there's any chance of that, not for quite a few years.
Not for quite a few years. But because of the Rugby World Cup and England match, it got 3.7 million viewers, which is familiar.
Yeah, which is quite low.
It's quite low, but the Rugby World Cup match. And there's another one tonight, so I'm expecting it to be quite low.
But the feedback from these first two episodes have been very, very strong and very good ratings in the press. Even the press, which is usually fairly anti-Doctor Who, seems to be very positive about it. What do you think in terms of the actual ratings? Because as we know, the overnight ratings are a bit misleading. People like myself tonight, I probably won't get to watch this week's episode until tomorrow.
The final ratings for Magician's Apprentice, the first one, was 6.54 million. And the Owl, for which is familiar, was 83. So
that's very high, isn't it?
So, yeah, and there's still Live Plus 7, which counts those who watch live and all repeats, including iPlayer, within 7 days following broadcast. That's still to be added.
What was quite interesting, actually, they did this time, I didn't see it, but I saw it was on, was the next day, the Sunday, last Sunday. They showed both the first and second parts. I
didn't watch it because I thought there's no need, because I've already watched it, but it's quite a good idea.
Yeah.
Didn't I tell you about that?
No, I don't think you did. You may. I don't think so.
I think I did.
But I read a few people commenting that they watched them back to back and loved them even more as a result of seeing them back to back.
Yeah,
and it would be interesting.
It's probably what the format was like when you actually watched them at the premiere screening.
Yeah. What do you reckon? What do you reckon you would have liked to have done best? Watch them back to back, or watch them like you did over 2 weeks?
Probably over 2 weeks, because you get excited by the cliffhanger.
Yeah. Yeah,
but
I guess that's it. Yeah. Cliffhanger is not a cliffhanger if it runs straight in, is it?
Yeah.
Well, it is, but this is like an exciting scene, probably more than anything, isn't it?
Yeah. So, Girlie Died official synopsis.
Ooh. A couple of weeks off, but launching.
So, captured by Vikings, the Doctor and Clara must help protect their village from space warriors from the future, the Myra. Outnumbered and outgunned, their fate seems inevitable. So why is the Doctor preoccupied with a single Viking gal? It airs on Saturday, 17th of October on BBC One, with the time to be confirmed.
Why is the Doctor preoccupied by a particular Viking girl? Because it's Missy's daughter.
Maisie Williams.
Because it's got to be, isn't it? Because which would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it? Because if Missy has made this comment all of a sudden about having a daughter, the Doctor would probably be intrigued to find out more.
Yeah, he might already know.
He might know. He may know. I don't think he does. I think that's the first he's heard of it, personally.
Me too.
And he wants to find out a little bit more about this character. Partly because what has become quite apparent through this episode, more than, or as in the first two parts of the series, more than ever before, is that however much the Doctor hates the Master, the Doctor loves the Master in Missy.
However much the Doctor loves the Master, the Doctor... I'm confused now. However much the Master loves the Doctor doesn't like the Master, but the Master doesn't like the Doctor, but the Doctor likes the Master.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the greatest love-hate relationship of all time.
It is.
Isn't it?
It is.
So, yeah, so that's my thoughts on it. That's why I think he's there. I think he's trying to track the Master / Missy's daughter.
Yeah. Me too. But I think it's going to lead in. That Under the Lake Before the Flood's going to lead into the next story. I was wrong about that last time, though. Magician's Apprentice, which is going to see last week's show.
But we can't be right all the time, can we?
We can't be right all the time when we don't know what's going to happen.
And luckily, for excitement purposes, we're usually wrong.
Yes, we usually are.
Any more news?
And so the time has been confirmed for Before the Flood. It airs at the same time as tonight's episode.
Right.
Which is 8:25 to 9:10 p.m. So both parts air at that time. Is it because it's a scarier sort of story, or Strictly, or
I think it's probably because of Strictly Come Dancing more than anything, but I think it's not a bad thing for it to be on a bit later with the darker edge that they have.
Yeah.
Do you think that will keep to that time for the whole of the series?
Maybe.
And presumably it's going to have to if Strictly Come Dancing's on. And let's face it, however much we love Doctor Who, from a purely ratings perspective, nothing is going to beat Strictly Come Dancing, because for whatever reason, and we've no idea what it is, people love that. People really, really love Strictly Come Dancing. I personally hate it. I hate all these sorts of shows, but the general public, probably not only in this country but in America, seem to love these sort of reality shows. I don't know where my co-host's gone, but he'll probably return in a minute. Hello, co-host.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Co-host.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you thought it was about Strictly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the reason for the timing. Any other news, sir?
I think we've got one more piece.
One more piece of news.
Kind of got a small piece of news. By the way, what did you think of the clips and the images on tonight's episode? I
think they entice you in.
Me too.
I love the pictures of the ghosts.
Me too.
I'm really looking forward to seeing these ghosts.
No.
I don't think it's going to be as creepy as it might be.
Yeah.
I think it will be a lighter episode than perhaps we have been led to believe. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be Robot Sherwood light.
Neither do I.
But I don't think
it's the third episode in the series, though.
I don't think it's going to be Listen Dark.
No.
So, are you still trying to find this bit of news?
No.
All right. Do you want to launch into it? What was it?
No, I mean, did you want to? Will you carry on with that, or?
No, I was. That was the end of my chat. Then. I think I ended it with that tone in my voice that indicates that I was going to carry on talking.
Yes.
But I realised that actually I'd run out of things to say.
So, Moffat and Clara's exit his future in K9.
Okay.
Stephen Moffat has given an interview in this week's TV and Satellite Week magazine and shares a few intriguing bits. Talking about whether Clara's exit will be heartrending, he says, I won't answer specifically, but I would say that one thing this show does very well is that we don't make the departure of our regulars a small event. When the Doctor loses somebody, when a friendship ends, it's dramatic. I don't like that thing in a TV series where somebody just decides to leave and you never see them again. We've made a promise on this show that we're always going to make you feel it. Always. You should. And that's right. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think it is. Sometimes I think they make too much of a meal of it. I think certainly the RTD era.
Definitely when somebody just leaves and doesn't die.
I think classic era used to happen all the time, didn't it? People just left, and like well, they used to go.
Dodo, the Doctor said, "Oh, Dodo's gone to live somewhere else."
Yeah, it could happen, couldn't it? But most people have had a fairly big exit. I think the way that, because I mean, you think about it, in the Stephen Moffat era, you've only really had Amy and Maury's departure, haven't you?
Yeah.
And he got it spot on with that. I thought. I think it was a sad ending, but at the same point, because they didn't really die, you were sort of sad, but you also thought, well, I'm glad they still had a full life.
Yeah. Yeah. Should I continue?
Yeah, carry on. Yeah.
On Moffat's own future on the show, he said, "I thought I would get tired by it and of it, but I haven't. If anything, I think I cope with the stress and fatigue.
I don't know where you are. Right.
There.
Fatigue
Better than I used to. So I take it a year at a time, but they might decide that they've had enough of me and kick me out. And finally, if he'll ever bring back K9, I nearly put him in Last Christmas. I had the whole scene where the Doctor was pointing out how ludicrous Santa Claus is, having a reindeer and a glowing nose and so on. And then it comes, K9. And then in comes K9. Completely daft, but he's brilliant. I'm totally up for K9 when we have the right idea."
Why wasn't K9 in Last Christmas? I wanted him there. I'd never even thought of that, but now all I can see, I'm not going to be able to watch that episode again now.
No.
Because now I'm going to want to see K9 come in.
K9!
So that's our news. Have you got any other thoughts on that at all to add?
Not really, but I wished K9 was in last.
Yeah.
So he could be in this Christmas.
But time's coming on. We probably need to crack on with our next part of the show. Our final bit, because I don't think we're going to have time for Who to Face, are we? So let's dig into our feature this week.
Kind of
a feature. It's a show of features, really.
Yeah. And this is our real feature is of the Witch's Mini Review. This is the top scary episodes. So can I go with my favourite, my most scary episode? The episode that actually made me look away. And you know what I'm gonna go for. Look away and get scared by it. Listen.
Played very well on it. Listen, didn't it? It managed to keep that throughout the whole of the episode. It managed to keep this edge to it. Yeah. And yet it wasn't such a ghosty episode.
No. We're not saying about necessarily ghost episodes there, but
what it did is, in the same way as with ghosts, you don't know whether ghosts are real or you're not real. Here, you didn't really know what the enemy was. You didn't know.
No.
You didn't even know whether there was anything there at all, or whether it was just a figment of your imagination.
Yeah.
And that's what made that so strong.
It did.
I would agree with you. I think that's the most effective, scary Doctor Who episode probably of all time.
What other episodes have made us scared about something? Because they always the thing that Stephen Moffat does well is he gets something normal.
Yeah.
Like
The Weeping Angel is a good example, isn't it?
Yeah, like blinking, let's say. And he makes it hot. He makes you either scared of something, or makes you unable to do something.
Yeah.
So I like that about Steve Moffat.
Yeah. I mean, he's done it numerous times, hasn't he? The Christmas Story had a similar sort of theme, didn't it? The whole thing about sort of dreams and stuff. Listen, very much that sort of whole thing of something under your bed that grabs your feet. He's certainly throughout the whole of his stories. Ghosts he's covered a few times, hasn't he? We had the whole thing with Hyde.
That wasn't him though.
No. So I'm just thinking, just in the wider context of scary stuff. In Who? You've had a few which have had a sort of a ghosty type edge. You had Hyde that we watched and we talked about on this show. You had the one with the dolls.
Yeah.
I forgot what that's called.
You had the Unquiet Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Night Terrors.
Night Terrors, yeah. Which had a sort of horror
very
sort of theme to it, didn't it? What do you think? Do you think New Who does scary better than classic Who? Because you've got to take it back to that very fact that when Doctor Who came out, and the whole thing where we've gone for our behind the sofa concept for our spin-off vidcast is that people used to hide behind the sofa when the Daleks were coming and things.
Now, what I'm going to say is, for us now, New Who's scarier, but back then, they would have thought, oh my god, classic Who. They wouldn't have called it classic Who because they wouldn't have knew Who would have existed then. So they would have thought, oh my god, this is too scary. A skull on it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm probably going to come over. I'm going to say something now, which is probably going to make me sound really stupid.
Yeah.
And it may be a really stupid thing to say. But I guess if you could take it back to the early stages of Doctor Who, we didn't know at that point the extent of the galaxy that we know now.
Yeah.
We've learned through being able to go to the moon.
Why is this a stupid thing?
Because I don't know at what stage people really knew how that. I don't know at what stage in time people knew how small the Earth was in comparison to the wider universe / universes / universes,
or whatever.
Or however of things going on forever. We don't really know. So there would have come a point when that became a little bit more obvious.
Yeah.
And probably around the time when Doctor Who first started, people for the first time started to become more aware of the prospect of there being alien life. And therefore this whole idea of Daleks and Cybermen and things would have been quite creepy to people.
Yeah.
Whereas if you'd gone back to I don't know, the time of King Arthur, they probably didn't know anything other than the fact that there was Earth. And the scariest thing that probably would be there would be other creatures that possibly may live on Earth.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting at.
Okay. Okay.
Other creepy stories.
Are there any others that we can...
Empty Child.
Empty Child, of course.
Very
Midnight.
Creepy. Midnight, yeah. It's all the ones where it's playing on that sort of inner not understanding. There's things that freak you out, isn't there?
Yeah, but don't talk about them, please. It's embarrassing.
It's not. I don't think it is embarrassing. I don't. The one. I will mention one of them.
What?
Which is the Silence in the Library thing.
Yeah.
I think the fact that creeps you out isn't embarrassing because it is quite a scary image.
Yeah.
And you're not alone in that, are you?
No.
And that's exactly what Doctor Who's about, isn't it? That whole thing of scary.
It is.
Yeah.
Even you get freaked out by that, Miss Evangelista.
Yeah, it's a really freaky thing, isn't it? And there are things that do freak me out.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily, and what freaks me out will be different from what freaks you out. Different from what freaks out Billy Blogs next door.
Yeah. Who's Billy Blogs?
Oh, he's
Does he have a blog?
He does, and he's coming on our show next week.
Yay!
To tell you what scares him most.
And what he thought of Under the Lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And whether it scared him the most.
And Glock to who will be on.
Yeah. So, all in all, I think Doctor Who is about family entertainment.
It is.
But it is also about leaving you a little bit on edge and,
Yeah.
and scaring you a little bit.
Yeah.
But at the same point, by the end of the episode, it always hopes that you will have been brought back to an edge where you're at least a little bit comfortable. So you'll be hiding behind the sofa for the majority of it, peeking out occasionally. But at the end, hopefully, you'll feel happy enough to climb over the sofa and sit comfortably on its big cushions.
Yay! I like to sit on its big cushions.
What do you think is going to be the scariest story in this series?
Do you think this one possibly? Or the Zygon one could be quite scary.
I still believe, and I might be proved wrong, I don't think this is going to be as scary as how it initially looks.
I'm not sure about that.
I don't, as I said earlier, I don't think this is going to be the listen of this series.
No.
Yes, I think there will be a listen in this series.
Yeah. What do you think it'll be?
Possibly that one when it's just him.
Possibly.
What's that again?
Heaven Sent.
Yeah. Yeah, I reckon that's going to be really edgy.
Okay. So, is that the end?
I think that's the end.
Okay.
What do we have on next week's show?
So, by the way, stay tuned for Jungle.
Jungle, yeah.
So, watch that.
Big
when
Adventure
it comes out in
episode number
6 by you.
6 by moi.
So, it's a great one. It's my favourite this series.
Ah, you're only saying that.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. And so next week we will be reviewing Under the Lake.
Ooh. We will also be talking about giving our sort of thoughts on what we're expecting from the second part of it, which is called
Buffalo Flood.
Mhm.
We'll be giving some news and views. And
we'll be having a we'll be having a discussion about a topic or other that we think about next week.
Maybe.
Linked to that
Probably
episode.
not a Who to Face.
Probably not a Who to Face. I think we'll be struggling time-wise to fit in.
Probably we'll have breaks for that.
Yeah. Because at the moment we're in Series 9 feedback.
Yeah.
So see you next week. Hope you've enjoyed listening.
Yes, and we'll see you for episode 128, where we review Under the Lake, which is broadcast tonight at 8:25. Goodbye.